Moralis Web3 Online. This is the podcast, what you never knew you needed. Ready to broadcast, coming to you live anywhere, anytime. Decentralized entertainment mixed with a rhyme. This is the Moralis Web3 podcast. Listen all the time from wherever you're at. Coming to you live, bringing the facts, exclusively online. Press play and kick back.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Moralis Web3 podcast. We're coming at you live from 2023, the first episode of the year. This is episode number 7, I believe. We're in a new year. We are full of new opportunities. We're super happy to be here for you. We've lots of cool Web3 stuff to share with you today. A big welcome to the show. My name is Bill Gilmore. I'm lead front end at Moralis. And let us know in the chat who you are, what you're building. And let me introduce my friend with me as always is Phil. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Moralis developers, how we doing today? We are here with another member of our team to introduce to everybody today. We're here with Greg, or Super G, as we call him on the team. And he's going to tell you a little bit about what he does with Moralis and how he helps us to succeed every single day as we provide you with the best Web3 API tools in existence. All right, let's bring Greg on the stage here with us. Hey, Greg, how you doing today?
Hi, Phil. Hi, Bill. How you guys going?
Super good. Glad to have you, Greg.
Well. Is your 2023 off to a good start?
Fantastic. I'm living down in Perth at the moment, and the weather is fantastic. Enjoying the seaside too. So yeah, I'm off to a good start, and very happy at Moralis as well.
Nice. It's all boats and Lambos in Greg's life, if anybody's wondering. So
Greg, tell us a little bit about what you do at Moralis and how you contribute to our team. We'll start with that here today.
Yeah, so I'm actually what's known as a Scrum Master. So at Moralis, we don't play rugby. We do application development, and so Scrum actually is a term that originates from rugby. But in the development world, it's somebody who assists our developers and our testers to deliver new services, new products, and new features to the market. And so I liaise with the team on a daily basis. We run a few ceremonies with our teams to ensure that we plan things properly, we refine them, and that the development's on track. And very, very exciting job. Every day is different, and I get to work with the best people from around the world. So it's wonderful.
Like me, right? I'm the best, right, Greg?
Yes, of course, Bill.
I love working with you, Greg. Not only do you keep us super focused and keep us really organized, you're also the main person who celebrates the wins, because so often we will push a feature or build something really awesome, and we'll just kind of vaguely tap each other on the back. But you never stand for that. You're always there to help us celebrate and make sure that we appreciate each other's work. So I super appreciate your work, Greg. You're an awesome teammate.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, no, look, it's fantastic. We have a melting pot of different cultures from around the world, and all unbelievably talented people. And it's just a privilege to work with people with good sense of humor, with some really amazing skills, and hardworking people as well, which is really good. So yeah, thanks, Bill. Much appreciated.
Wonderful. Now, Greg, I wanted to ask you a little bit, what brought you into Web3 in the first place? And then, of course, what brought you to Moralis as well? What was that kind of a singular event where you weren't working in Web3 before you started with Moralis, and that was your introduction? Or did you get into Web3 crypto or blockchain earlier than that? Tell us a little bit about your journey into our industry.
Well, my journey started in 2008, actually, in the crypto world, and I was having quite a few debates with my brother on investments. He was going the Bitcoin route, and I was aiming more for shares. And we both took a bit of a wager on what share would do better, but we didn't invest in Bitcoin like most people don't many years ago. And about a year or two, 2009 and 10, I pulled my shares out and I said, where's your crypto now? And we looked, and we were like, wow, it was even in a bear at the time, and it had outperformed my shares. And but we still thought it was too late to get in. You know, it was at its highest. That was it. That was the ceiling. You know, it was monopoly money at the time. You know, we weren't too sure. It was a bubble.
What price was Bitcoin trading at this time at?
I think it was
$5.
80. It was 80. It went from $8 up to 80, and then we saw the next jump. The next time we looked, it was 800. And so we went from 8. We spoke about it at 8. It had gone up to 80, and then we were like, okay, 80 is the ceiling. We looked again; it was 800, and then we decided, okay, now we're gonna jump in. So we didn't really invest a lot of money. We invested a little, and then around 2015, 16, I started to really get into it, and that's when, I think 2017, I came across Arvin's podcast on YouTube. And I had listened to quite a lot of different people pumping and boosting and bolstering crypto, but they all seemed to like try to sell it. And I listened to Arvin's first podcast on Ethereum. And there was something about him. I just thought, you know, this guy's very genuine, very honest. And he explained it so well. It wasn't in a salesman fashion. It was actually very similar to Vitalik. You could just see like a genuine, honest kind of approach. And something just said like, okay, let's just listen to this guy a bit more. And as the weeks and months grew, I was listening more and more. And then eventually I got let go from Chevron, a big oil and gas company, and I got some shares. And then he convinced me, a YouTube guy convinced me to spend all my money on Ethereum.
Nice.
Yeah, and I never looked back.
That worked out pretty well, I'm sure.
Worked out well, yeah. And then, I followed his podcast over the years. I'm originally from South Africa, but I migrated to Australia. And so when Arvin's podcast came out, it was about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd set the alarm to wake up and listen. And eventually it grew, and Arvin started mentioning he started up Moralis, and there was some amazing things happening in the space with Web3. And then I thought, wow, I wonder what sort of roles are going there. And I looked, and lo and behold, it was a Scrum Master job. And I was like, okay, I think this is fate. This is, and I applied for it, and here I am today, working with amazing people.
Nice, man. Yeah. Definitely written in the stars, Greg. You were born to be a Moralian, pure Moralis.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, everybody in chat, thanks for giving us shout outs already. Thanks, hey to Stephen, Alex, Minik, and big hello to Elio. Hey, buddy, Elio from Into the Verses here. So if anybody has any extra questions for Greg, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to them at the end. But Phil, if you could give us a quick recap on why do we do this? What, not only do we have a great time every month doing this podcast, but we have a very, very good reasons for doing it. It's all about the community. So Phil, you can let us know about that.
Absolutely. Let me get into that here in just a second. I wanted to follow up and say, Greg, you are one of the earliest people on the scene that I have personally talked with. Most of the time when I run these streams, I'm the first person who got into crypto, because I started in 2013 when the price of Bitcoin was $300. And to hear about your journey starting, even years before that is amazing. But the reason why I bring all that up is, if you're watching this for the first time and you're getting involved with Web3 for the first time, and you're probably thinking, oh man, I'm so late. You're not. You're early. You're ridiculously early if you start today. I felt in 2013 like I was too late. I just this overwhelming feeling like I had missed the entire event. But the truth is, we weren't even getting started. Now we're getting started. And if you're joining us right now, you're here at the perfect time. You're here when the industry is mature enough that we can actually build solutions. That was the dreamer phase, back in even 2013, and certainly before that, when it was like, what will this be one day? Today, we're building what it will be together. And that is the point of this podcast. This point of this podcast is to connect with you on a regular basis about the most exciting movement in the world right now, and that is the Web3 movement. It's a global movement one that is going to empower people from all corners of the world to build a better future for themselves and for their family through more fair and better technological solutions that can improve our world economy for the better. It's all up to us to build those solutions. And this podcast is about, number one, getting excited about that. Number two, showing you where the support and tools are for that. And then number three, telling you that we're here for this journey with you. Like, we are, every single one of us that we bring on this show, we are 100% invested in this industry. Every single day I wake up before 6 a.m. so I can sit at my desk and get started building in Web3, encouraging people to keep going with what they're building on and to figure out, okay, what's next? And how do we channel resources to you to help you in your Web3 development? We're going to talk a little bit more about that right now, or because I've got some things in the works for this year in terms of hackathon events and things like that. So that's going to be coming up soon. And that's the point of all of this. The point of all of this is about you, about that Web3 movement that we want you to be a part of, that we're already a part of, and that we're here to make personal for you. We want to make that journey something that you're personally engaging in and that you believe in because you're convicted.
And Phil, you're working on some really awesome content at the minute. I keep getting little sneak views of it. Is that something you're ready to talk about yet, or?
I think we need to wait a little bit on that one.
Okay, sorry.
No. But here's what I can say. I can say that it's not just me. It's myself, head of our community engineers, Yosef, Ivan on tech, who many of you know and love as well. We are all pedal to the metal working on some of the most cutting edge advanced course content for our Moralis Academy that exists today. Some of the most latest stuff. We're talking about advanced DeFi. We're talking about the latest programming tips and development tools. And we're talking about building things which don't already exist, like truly groundbreaking tech. So if no matter where you are in your journey, maybe that means you're already a JavaScript developer and you just need to be given the right tools to take it to the next level. If that's the case, join us in Discord. We're going to get you set up right away. If you haven't learned how to code yet, then the Academy is the place you want to start. And that's where we're releasing a lot of these new tools. There's also cool tips and tricks there for DeFi users. Maybe you're not a coder. Maybe you're just out there with some resources in the DeFi environments and you want to figure out, how do I put these to work? How do I make some money in this next bull run? Well, we've got tips on that as well. So check out the Academy for that. Absolutely.
Nice. Yes, lots of new stuff coming very, very soon to the Academy. Exciting times. So let me give you a quick rundown of the Moralis news. First of all, I feel like we need a little those old school news beeps at the start. You could work on that for next time, Phil. So first up in the news, big thanks to Greg, who's been a big part of this project, but I'm not even meant to mention it. The Moralis Money app is coming on a lot, and we have got something very, very cool we're about to launch on that. It's going to make your investment strategy much more, not just guessing what's going to be cool, but you're going to be able to find out what's cool before anybody else. Can't say any more. That's super top secret. Other big news we have coming up that I know Greg is very excited for is we are hitting Spain for the Moralis Winter Camp 2023. Greg, tell me that you have got the Mankini. Is it packed?
It's packed. I do.
Yes.
I'm trying to mimic Borat, but I'm not quite as tall.
Nice. Well, I will definitely being an Irishman, I'll be bringing my Factor 50 sun cream. Otherwise, his head will be as red as his jumper. I'll be completely camouflaged. But yeah, we're very excited about that. We'll be sharing a lot of stuff on Twitter. Phil's actually going to be brought in via the World Wide Web to do a hackathon. Are you ready for that yet, Phil?
Oh, absolutely. So this is something that I don't know if we've talked a lot about on our community podcasts or any of our public channels, but we do internal hackathons as well. And these internal hackathons are all about figuring out, okay, what can we do with Moralis that either nobody is doing right now or nobody is doing a good job of yet. So a good example of this would be token gating. So let's say that you have a private club and you want private club access to that, or to access to your private club to be determined via NFT. The person comes into the event, they sign a transaction quickly that with their wallet that has that NFT in it, and then they get access to the club. If you want to do that, Moralis has all the tools capable of doing that. And we proved that during our last internal hackathon, that not only is this something that we think we can do, we made a production dApp that did token gating with NFTs and worked. And we tried it out. We linked some storage to it. And we proved to ourselves that these ideas that we have are real. And if you're interested in building something similar, check us out in the Discord. We can talk you through some resources on how to get started with that. That's definitely something that Moralis can do out of the box. But that's not at all the full, complete story of what Moralis can do. Really, anything that you want to build in Web3, anything that you want to really dive into, whether that's lending, insurance, exchange, all of these things are very, very easy to accomplish with Moralis, especially when you're comparing it to, trying to work directly with the RPC node. I know a lot of people, maybe you started in Web3 and your first time you were like, all right, so I've got a full working node. Now, how do I get the information that I need in order to make my dApp work? And you found out, oh, I can only grab it for one contract at a time. And I need information for 100 contracts. So what do I do? Well, stop. You need Moralis. We're going to help you. We're going to get you to where you are, where you have the right tools to build what you want to build today, not 7 months from now when you figure it out. So, that's what that's all about. And I know that it'll work for you because we tested in-house during our own hackathons. And we've got another one of those coming up. And we're going to show you the results of that once we're done as well.
That's actually also been a really great point of the money project that we're working on, because it's like extreme dog fooding. Like, we're using our own APIs, we're using our own documentation, we're like finding things that we can improve every single day. We're giving that feedback to the teams, and it's like always really welcome. Like, we're super like open and transparent with each other in Moralis, and like there's no, you're not worried about hurting someone's feelings, because everyone has the same feeling of we just want to make it better. So there's a lot of big improvements coming, which kind of brings me to my next point. Actually, there was a very, very inspirational, I wish I could share it, but it's internal. There was a very inspirational talk from Ivan about our new North Star. So you are going to see so much improvement in every aspect of what we're doing in 2023. And we're all very, very excited to be pushing towards that. And also another project that you're very involved with is admin. Admin is improving a lot. I was speaking to Gustav, and there is so much new stuff coming. The playground is live. He has so much more about onboarding, about teaching. Greg, maybe you even know better than I. Like, the guys in admin, they're doing such an amazing job, right?
Yeah, both front end and back end, Bill, are surging along. Lots of different changes coming along in the next coming weeks, but also some of the feedback we constantly, touching base and putting our feelers out with the market and seeing how they are seeing our front end and can we make any tweaks and changes. Lots coming in that space and significant improvements to the admin as well.
Nice. Super exciting times. Just want to say a quick hi to Tijan, my boy, always helping me out on Web3 UI Kit in the chat, and Focus Pilot, man, good to see you. My End of the Verse crew are in the chat today, so it's good to see you here. I always enjoy talking to you guys on your Discord. So without further ado, let's move on to the crypto Web3 industry news. We are always blessed to have Phil here, who has such amazing insights into everything. So the first thing we wanted to talk about today, Phil, was that recent video from Coin Bureau about SBF, some revelations and conspiracy.
Yeah. So Bill and I talked about this a bit yesterday, and I always get a little heated when talking about really any hack or exploit, especially where it was basically central players doing things incorrectly. I can take in stride the worst of hacks if it's an exploit of a contract, because that's one thing. But when it's mismanagement of funds by a central entity, it's like that's what crypto was designed to get rid of. And I probably said this last podcast, but I'm going to say it again. Every single problem that happened at FTX was a traditional finance problem.
Human problems.
Yep.
There was not a single problem that they had that related to cryptocurrency infrastructure and how it functions. There wasn't any chains that were hacked. There wasn't any there wasn't even a single contract that was hacked as a result of the incident. It was all mismanagement in traditional finance terms. So let's get into that just a little bit. I know we've talked about this a bit already in previous podcasts. Coin Bureau, I respect Coin Bureau tremendously. I think they do a great job over there of breaking stuff down and giving an overview. The last one was a little bit too conspiracy theorist for me. And here's why I say that. I feel like when we try to say, oh, this person did that because they're actually having strings pulled behind the scenes by this other faceless, nameless person who we don't know, it ends up shifting blame at the end of the day. Oh, they're a victim of circumstance. And I gave a particular analogy when talking privately with Bill about this, but I'm going to sidestep that analogy and instead say, you'll probably know what I'm talking about if you're familiar with the circumstance already, but I'm just following orders is not the type of excuse that anywhere in the world our court systems should consider valid. It's a responsibility of all humans to consider what's right by other people. And if a person in authority over you is trying to coerce you or convince you to do the wrong thing, it's your responsibility to call that out and to get whatever help you need, especially when you're somebody in power who has the responsibility over other people's livelihood, income, wealth, other things that determine not only their success, but the success of their families. You have a responsibility to them. And saying, oh, some evil entity was coercing me and I just gave in to them. That's not a good enough excuse for me. I think you still need to be punished in that case for not doing the right thing. And so I'm going to leave it at that. And if you want to know about that rabbit hole that Coin Bureau is exploring, do check out that video because I think it's a good breakdown. But I think at the end of the day, let's remember something. We are all responsible for the good or bad that we put into the world. And regardless of who tells you to do it, so be responsible for your own actions. Do good things that help people and don't let anybody convince you otherwise. I think that there's something very noble about what we're doing in cryptocurrency, the way that it brings banking to the unbanked and may, in very real terms, be the difference between somebody having food on the table 10 years from now or not. And when we frame it in that sense, we understand that the calling and the accountability that we have to hold people to in this industry is so high. So at the end of the day, what does that mean? That means that you need to make your own decision about how you feel about this thing, consider all aspects of it. But I urge you to do the right thing when push comes to shove and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. And we all know what that is. And so we'll leave it at that. Thank you to Coin Bureau for, pointing out all the factors there, giving us something to think about. At the end of the day, I'm gonna, look within myself to just do whatever I can every day to help people, both in this industry and out. And if you guys do the same, I really do believe that that's going to pay off for us in the long run, regardless of what these other parties have in mind on the outside. We can beat that at the end of the day as a global community that wants good things for the world. So that's my soapbox on the ongoing situation. I got a little personal there, but it's just something I feel really passionately about. I believe in the altruism of this industry, and when you have somebody who used that term so much and did supposed altruism so much, only to have it be revealed to be something other than what it was thought, we need to remember that there are still good people here, and that the good people here maybe aren't the ones that are getting the news spotlight every day, but we are here. And if you're looking for that community, congratulations, you found it. We're going to support you and we're going to help you build good things.
Greg, I know that you're a good person. You're on mute at the minute, by the way, buddy. I just wanted to know, like, were you in any way hit by the whole SBF fallout? And just quick shout out and hello to Tibby in chat, our head of design. We need to have you on here one day, man. Greg, were you hit by SBF at all?
No, well, I've the same sort of thinking lines as Phil. I'm so disappointed with this industry has really gone out of its way to solve a lot of problems. And then you get these kind of things that just drags it down. It gives it a bad name. And I've invested in crypto for like 6-7 years now, and I've seen, quite a few hacks, quite a few exchanges go down. And a lot of them, it's not really on the actual technology. It's more so on people's greed, and it's so disappointing. So I was caught off guard a little bit with Shiba, but I think most people were as well. And the FTX also was, quite a lousy thing for the industry, but this industry is resilient, and I think it'll power through it, and I think people will see the light at the end of the day and the real benefits of it.
Without a doubt. Thank you very much. So the next one, another maybe slightly bit of bad news, but I super enjoyed watching this. Really over Christmas, this all played out since our last episode. The Logan Paul NFT scam versus CoffeeZilla. Oh my goodness. Greg, what did you think about that? Was that like the best TV ever or what?
It was. I'd say it was modern day opera for us, and it just was so interesting how the whole thing played out. It was entertainment, pure entertainment, Bill. Don't know if it was really worth it if we look back, but it was real.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the innocent people were affected by this, and we're not trying to make light of that in any way. Like, it was really bad what happened. It was great that CoffeeZilla was able to do such diligent work and to get some sort of he got an apology in the end, which was great, and he got Logan Paul to sort of reinvest some of his own money. That's all good news. I think a lot of people have already tried to sell off their assets, unfortunately, and it seems like they won't get any money back. So we're not trying to make light of that in any way, but very, very dramatic and entertaining to watch going out on YouTube.
Yeah,
I agree. I think that I kind of got an interesting take on the whole Crypto Zoo situation. So number one, my heart goes out to you if you
100%
something to do with Crypto Zoo and now it's worth a lot less than you paid for. That sucks. I mean, that happens. That happens to me a lot. I mean, it happens. You buy an asset and it drops in value because it doesn't realize the potential that you thought it had. If you are as involved with DeFi as I am, that's going to happen to you again, and it's going to happen to you forever because you cannot pick the best investment every time. Now, what's the shame here is that there seems like there was some market manipulation behind the scenes. Of course, that isn't something we want to be involved with. It's not something that we want to characterize our industry, and it is illegal in most jurisdictions, market manipulation. So that I certainly will condemn along with everyone else. However, there is an element to this that I think is not Logan Paul's fault. And it's because we have an immature industry still. When you buy an NFT, that is a high risk investment. High risk investments have two characteristics. Number one, that risk can, if never realized, can then mean large appreciation for the asset. You took on a big risk, which didn't happen. Therefore, you get big rewards. Now, if that risk is realized, then you're going to lose a lot of money. And that's how high risk investments work. I mean, that's the same case in traditional finance. If you're buying housing securities, this goes back to the housing crisis example, but you're buying housing securities and you're purposefully buying the ones that are said to give you the greatest return. Where do you think that return comes from? Well, that return comes from the associated risk, which is an equal proportion. Now, in cryptocurrency and in Web3, we have the very unique advantage of what you call asymmetric opportunities. And that's where the cost of an asset is so low that the potential actually significantly outweighs the risk. This is an unusual phenomenon. It is not what we should expect. Mature investors, even in Web3, should understand that while this exists in our industry, it is still rare. You should always expect. So let's say you're buying an asset for 1/100th of a penny that you think will one day be worth $1. And you took some time, you studied the tokenomics, you realized that if it rose in value from whatever it's ranked to, say, the top 200, that would be a 50x increase, and you think that 100x is within range. In fact, if I looked at it, I might even agree with you. But you need to understand that what's the risk that you're taking on? Well, if the earning potential is 100x, the risk is the same. In fact, it could be worse. Now, if you get lucky and you're in a situation where that risk is lower, great, but don't ever assume that. And that's what I want. I would hate for somebody to walk away from this Crypto Zoo situation and say the only reason I lost money is because Logan Paul cheated me. I don't think that's true. I think that perhaps you were treated unfairly, but if you don't learn anything from this, you're doomed to repeat it. This won't be the last time that an NFT set is released with poor tokenomics that don't make sense, where the earning potential is estimated to be 100x, but then in reality, the risk is realized and you lose everything. That's going to happen again. And if this is the time where you learned it, I like I said, I'm sorry that you lost some money. I lost a lot of money in 2022 as well. But what that means is it's time to get back to the fundamentals, to start to do a better job of calculating risk so we don't repeat mistakes in 2023 that we made in 2022.
Well, it's a fun game that earns you money, Phil. That was the quote that CoffeeZilla kept putting over and over and over again. It was so good, so good. Okay.
I'm not going to list off all the other fun crypto games that I've played that earned some people money, but most people not. It's actually most of them, but that's what makes it a game. When you play the casino, you don't expect that most people are walking out of there with 10% earnings. That wouldn't make any sense.
Except my wife, she always wins at the casino. It's ridiculous. She's like the luckiest person in the world.
Does she have a system?
She can usually win enough money to like even out the money I lose on the craps table. So yeah, it works out okay for us. But yes, the other thing I wanted to say was I think in defense not that I need to defend him, but in defense to Logan Paul, man, that dev team sucked because a guy went on stream and he built Crypto Zoo in like 45 minutes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So
that's the type of thing, we're all talking about elements there that indicate that the risk, which was accepted by the investors, was realized. When you're every single project looks amazing when you invest in it. That's what you need to remember. Every single scam has an awesome timeline on the day that they launch it. I'll ask one more question here just to get people thinking, and then we can move on to the next topic. How many times have you seen sharding in a blockchain timeline?
5.
And how many blockchains have sharding that are in the top 20?
I don't know what sharding is, Phil. What's sharding?
Well, to really explain it, I would need more time. But sharding is a traditional database scaling practice, which favors, horizontal scaling over vertical scaling. So when you scale vertically, you increase the power of your machine or machines. When you scale horizontally, you increase the number of machines. When we're talking about blockchains, the machines are compute environments that are shared. So with Ethereum, you have a singular compute environment called EVM. If you were to shard that environment, then all of a sudden you would have 2. This creates security problems, though, because the gains associated with sharding involve breaking the security guarantees of consensus in almost every single situation. So that's my my short explanation as to why
Damn,
that one
Phil.
doesn't work.
You're
But
smart
that's
and beautiful.
example.
Seriously.
There's other things too. You can put, like, let's say, for example, you're a brand new car company. Let's say you're VinFast. Anybody seen the new cars from VinFast? They're super cool. They're made in Vietnam. We're about to get them in the US here pretty soon. They're all electric SUVs, 300 miles on a single charge. Cool stuff like that. What if VinFast, though, put on their timeline, and in 2030, we're going to release a flying car?
I'd be into it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, well, now if you believe them, if you really, really believe them, you'd like dump all your money into it, because you'd be like, oh, it's going to be the first one with a flying car. But if you took a step back and you were like, wait, so this company I've never heard of, started up by people I've never heard of, is going to do something that doesn't exist, that the leading protocols or leading industry players can't do yet. Probably not. And you can apply that same logic to blockchain. If you see something on there that nobody is doing, that is maybe impractical, impossible right now, consider how are they going to do it if the leaders aren't going to do it. Now, if they do, they might be the next thing that explodes to the top 100, that does that 100x. I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. Matic at the time, Polygon, by far and beyond, produced the cheapest EVM compute environment and went to production with it with DeFi dApps on it. What happened as a result? It became one of the most relevant EVM networks in existence. So you do see things like this where they absolutely break ground on something brand new, but usually it's some sort of incremental improvement, like a lot faster, a lot cheaper, not completely different than what we're seeing right now.
Nice. Okay, so let's draw a line underneath all of the bad to not so great crypto news. And Greg, what is this we hear in the distance? Is this the distant stomping of bulls' hoofs? How is your portfolio looking? Are you feeling the energy of 2023? Is the bull run coming?
It's caught me off guard a little bit as well, Bill, because I've kind of every 4 years I've seen those spikes with Bitcoin. It seems like it's a little bit too soon, but
FUD.
Yeah, I think next year would have been the proper bull in my opinion. But there's so much mass adoption now. I think it's really getting traction and are really starting to get momentum. Anything could happen. I'm holding thumbs. I'm a hodler, just by the way, and a maximalist in all coins. Once I grab onto them, I hold onto them tightly, and I don't really sell. I'm hoping that we have a nice little juicy bull this year.
Do you have any?
I hope it never stops.
Do you have any particular gains at the minute? Like the one for me in particular has been Fetch AI. I think it's up like 250% or something since I got it. So I'm super, super happy with that. What about yourself, Greg? Anything kind of spiking at the minute?
I like Matic. Matic is been teasing us a little bit. It went up quite a lot in the last bull, and then it started to dip a little bit. But I think side chains are certainly helping the ETH, especially with the fees. But I just see, the whole gaming industry, your settlement platform, staking liquidity, voting, the whole insurance industry is going to be influenced by it. I think we're at the forefront of a real financial revolution. And I dabble in all of them, Bill.
Nice.
V-Chain's coming up. I was a Stellar fan, XRP, I've climbed into all of them. So I think that's the thing. If something comes up, it makes sense. It's got a good roadmap. Got a good development team. I'm quite keen to hear about it. So so a Stellar for me, and I'd probably say Matic at this point in time.
Nice. It sounds like safe bets too, to be honest. They didn't seem like incredibly altcoins or anything. So yeah, nice. Nice. This is not financial advice from Greg, by the way.
No, no, certainly not. Certainly not. You do you, I do me. That's
exactly.
what I've heard before.
And we all use Moralis money to find the sound investments too.
That's it.
What about you, Phil? Anything been treating you well lately?
So if you want my complete list, that's something that I'd encourage you to check out the Academy and courses, which will be coming out as early as next month. But number one advice that I give everybody, I gave Bill this advice, or maybe I probably have given you this advice the other day, but I to some other people too, is it will be hard to pick an asset which beats Bitcoin or Ethereum. Will not.
Ooh, that's boring. We want altcoins. Come on. We want 100x, Phil. 100x always.
Always going to be hard. Well, and here's the thing: like, do you want to be a macro investor who, at the end of all of this, owns various pieces of the new financial infrastructure that we use worldwide? Now, and let me preface that and say I believe that Web3 and cryptocurrency will take over the world, and that our children and grandchildren will use these tools or ones like them every day for their payments, to pay their rent, to buy their lunch, to do everything that they need to do. If you believe that, then I think that there is a major advantage to investing in protocols that you think are going to be part of that future infrastructure. And I can't say definitively what that's going to be. Could be Polygon, could be BNB chain, could be that Ethereum mainnet plays a role. I just don't know. And I will say that I'm invested in all of those that I've named. Now, if you're going to be that type of person, you're going to be spending a lot of time trying to find out, okay, what makes sense technologically as a world infrastructure piece? And it becomes a more difficult challenge. If you want to be a bystander who's involved with the movement in a less aggressive way, that's where just buying Bitcoin and Ethereum really makes you part of that. I mean, I believe in the Ethereum ultrasound money movement, which demonstrates that, 100 years from now, Ethereum mathematically is sound, usable money, not only for us, but for our future generations. I believe in that. I think that that makes sense to me. And I want to own a part of that. I want my family to own a part of that and to be taken care of in the future. I think that Bitcoin is the only currency on the planet that can be responsibly used for international central bank settlements. What did I just say there? I said that every single central bank in the world is being irresponsible by not using Bitcoin. Yes, absolutely. They are 100%, because there's no other way that we can provably, as a third party, guarantee fairness. I can't drill all the gold that they send between those banks to make sure that it's not filled with lead. I can't make sure that they are doing sound practices with their quantitative easing when they introduce new fiat and then use US dollar to settle between banks, because that's the international currency standard. I can't verify this myself. If it was done using the Bitcoin blockchain, I could. If they ever do that, what would that mean for the price of Bitcoin? I mean, just take a look at the number of monthly transactions done on FedWire every single month. I'll give you a hint. It's in the trillions.
Yep.
And so this is where I say, like, short-term gains, we're going to have a lot of fun this year playing altcoins. And if you're like me, we're going to be deep in those DeFi trenches. But if you're not like me and you still want to be involved, Bitcoin and Ethereum are your ticket to it.
Yeah.
Quick shout out to Stephen and Tibby for bringing the poop jokes in the chat. I'm here for that. I appreciate the poop jokes. And yes, when Phil said short, my mind went to exactly the same place. So thanks for doing that, guys. So let's move swiftly on. We have next up our best segment. What we're here for is here for you guys. Your dApps, what you've built with Moralis. This is our dApp of the month. We need an intro for that too. That sucked. But thanks very much to Steven/Bob. I'm not sure which one you want to go by right now, but he sent us in a very, very cool application where you're able to, it's called Radlibs. You're able to mint your own NFT. He also has made it so that fans of the Moralis Community Podcast can go on there and mint one for free. I did yesterday. I just paid for the gas fees, so thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that for us. I will also post a link on my Twitter because I don't mind bad words. I'll post a link on my Twitter, so if anybody wants to have a look at it, you can also do that. And Phil, we were going to share it, but you're worried a little bit about your grandmother.
It's a really clever project. It really is. Check out Radlibs. But let me just give a small disclaimer. So it's not 100% family friendly. It's a political commentary. So Radlibs is a double entendre for radical liberal, which, liberal or conservative, I think that anybody who is politically minded can appreciate the satire involved. But since it is a satire, it's going to fall in those same lines as, South Park and other satires that many of us enjoy, but where I won't describe the intricacies of it on this show because I want to keep it family friendly. That said, if you're so inclined to such satire, this is just a really brilliant example of how we can do that in Web3, and huge kudos to the team. If they ever release a 4Kids version, we'll definitely demo it on the show.
100%. I really like the artwork as well, and it made me laugh a lot when I minted mine. The generative text that came with it was quite funny. I do like rude comedy, but yeah, maybe not exactly the right audience for here, but nevertheless, we're giving an honorary mention, and I'm going to tweet out a link to it as well because I thought it was super cool that you opened it up for free for our fans. So, Greg, are you going to pick up a Radlibs NFT after the show?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump straight into it. I reckon I'll investigate it and grab a little bag of that, and yeah,
nice. Good man, good man.
Just to be clear, Bill, I love that type of comedy too, but my grandma watches this show, and I don't necessarily want to start that conversation.
That's fair, Phil. That's fair. And moving on to our second DAP of the month, we actually have two this month, so thank you so much for sharing it. This is from JJ in our community. Actually, I kind of like dipped my toe into this. It's called Guild of Guilds, and basically, it's a fun game that earns you money. Just doing a bit of a Paul Logan quote for you there, but no, it's an online platform where we can jump on, play different games. You share tweets and stuff like that, and that obviously kind of builds awareness around the games, and you get rewarded with the token. I can't remember the name of the token, but I haven't quite got it all set up yet. So we're going to jump back into this one, I think, next month. Hopefully, also we'll get JJ on to talk about it because he has used Moralis to build this, and he seems to be very happy with the result. And I think he's done a great job. So I would love to have him on as a guest, and we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth and share some video and some screenshots of that. So if you've built anything with Moralis, any sort of application at all, we really want to hear from you. Please share it. It's on our Discord. We have the community podcast space. We really want to see all the tech that you're building. We want your feedback too. If you're finding things difficult or you're finding some documentation hard to understand, let us know about that in there, because we can talk to the people straight away who are in charge of that, and we can make change happen very, very fast here. So yeah, please let us know as soon as possible what you're building and how it's going, and we'd love to share it for you. And that finally brings us to the Q&A section with our good friend Super G. Thanks for coming on the show, by the way, Greg. It's been great having you here, man.
Thank you.
So we talked a little bit about how you found your way to Moralis. As quite a lot of us, we start off as Ivan fanboys, and then we apply to work at Moralis. That's how it works. But what's your favorite thing about working here? Besides getting to work with me, what's your other favorite thing about working at Moralis?
Yeah, it's your humor, Bill. Your humor is the top one. But if we're not allowed to discuss that, there's a saying, if you find your passion, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And
for sure.
Joining this company, I've seen a lot of people with a lot of passion, and they get to be creative and use their development skills and just build wonderful things for people to use their imagination to create amazing things, and so. We're in a time where we really are changing the world, solving a lot of problems. And, our Web3 platform certainly helps developers be more creative. And it's just something that's so positive. I've come from the oil and gas industry, many years in the oil and gas industry, into moving to an industry that's totally different. and it's just more fresh. There's a positive energy in our organization. It's just like a energy I can't explain. It's like a young teenager who has their life ahead of them. And I just see I get to interact with these people every day, and it's just magic. I'm down here in Australia working with people up in Europe and all over the world, and I'm just thoroughly enjoying it, Bull. I've been here just over a year and a bit now, and I just see people do such intelligent people do amazing things. And it's just the whole package, the culture, the vibe, the technology. And also, when we do meet up, we've met up the last time we had a get together with the organization, and you just see some magical people with good hearts that are down to earth as well, which is nice.
Yeah, and I really agree with you, because I've worked on being an old man. I've worked in quite a few technology companies, and we're building this platform to change the world, or we're building this booking app to change the world, and they're like, no, we're not really changing the world. But at Moralis, it does feel like we're really changing the world. Yeah, it's awesome.
We are.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
We're running pretty long on time here, guys. But I want to ask you one more question, Greg. What has been your biggest achievement since you've been here working in Moralis?
Well, Bull, in some small way, shape, or form, being the Scrum Master, I've helped to Bull, helped our team to get that new admin panel out there, which was really, really nice. In your team, we got a new SDK too. Our admin panel. Our admin panel's new look was really fantastic for me,
Nice.
and just seen some significant growth and changes, taking on new clients, changing our infrastructure, our technology, and I've been a part of all of that, and I can one day say I've actually contributed in my career to making this world a better place, so that's my kind of feeling about Moralis, and about my achievements that I've had at Moralis as well.
100%, Greg. I always say this, that you are literally the oil that keeps this Web3 machine turning. Like, without you, we're just a bunch of gears grinding up against each other and not really making much progress. But all your work is so important and so valued. And you keep this machine running, and you keep us filled with really positive energy all the time. So I'm super thankful for you, Greg. Thank you for coming on the show as well. You've been an amazing guest.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yeah, Paul, I've been known to be also the glue that glues us together. Hopefully I'm not the glue in the engine.
Yeah.
More the oil.
Yeah, awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. And as always, I will pass it over to our host, Phil, who always gives us some lovely words to end on. Phil, over to you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to everybody who joined us today for this stream. I was really exciting to be able to share with you guys here some of my my personal feelings about where this industry could be heading. I know I went a little further with that than I have in the past, but I really believe that we're building the future here. When you look at things like the emergence of electricity, or the car, or the internet, and then you read books like The Internet of Money by Andreas Antonopoulos, you start to realize that this movement is real, and it will change the world, and that anybody who's fighting against it is doing exactly what happened when electricity was brand new.
Yeah.
I mean, take a look at some of the political cartoons. It was going to kill everybody, and you couldn't have it in your house. It was going to start your house on fire. What are they saying about crypto now? Oh, you can't keep it there. You're gonna lose all of your money. Let me tell you something. You could lose all of your money tomorrow, and it wouldn't be your fault, because it would be a bank problem or a government problem, or you lose it to inflation, or you lose it to 1,000 different things. And we're trying to build a world where all of a sudden that behaves differently, where you have some agency as a person within this world, because we all deserve that. And no one person is more valuable than another. The idea, even how weird is it that we're we're finally in 2023 trying to build and instigate a financial system that treats people as equals. It sounds so silly, but really it's a novel idea. It's something we've never had before in the course of human history. So I'm so glad to be here with you today and to depart on this journey with you, or to continue this journey with you if you've been here already. We are here to help you 24 hours a day. Join our Discord. I'm there. Bill's there. Other people from our community engineers to help you and to guide you. So let's go and let's build some great things. See everybody at the next podcast.
Thanks
Thank
everyone
you.
for joining the
Cheers,
chat.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Greg.
you.
Bye everyone.
Cheers. Thanks, Bill.